All right. Well, good morning or good afternoon, wherever you may be in the world. Um, it's Friday. Happy Free Hands Friday. Free Hands Friday number 84. And how lucky I am to be with David Tipton this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hey, so we're gonna do a song learn. We had one of these with Kevin C., who's one of your biggest fans, along with me, and learning yesterday. And so we're gonna do something like that again. And let's see, it's 8:17, so that gives us till what, like I'm not good at math, 8:32 or something like that to learn this Fleetwood Mac song. We're going to do Landslide. And David, I'm going to kind of let you I'm just going to hand the conch to you right here. I was really enjoying what you were saying a little earlier about the song, and maybe you can talk a little bit about it and then just kind of walk us through how you approach it.
Sure. So yeah, Landslide it's one of those songs, like most of the songs I play it's something I grew up with, and I heard, and like I mentioned to you earlier, I was inspired to learn it after hearing you play it when you were posting the song of the week, which I thought was like a really ballsy thing to do. but
Thanks.
um, but yeah, and my approach to it was a little different. We'll talk about that in a minute. I do want to talk about the song just for a second. Written by Stevie Nicks, and released by Fleetwood Mac in 1975, I think it was. And she wrote that here in Aspen, Colorado, not too far from where I am now.
Wow.
And it's one of those songs that I play it at gigs a lot, and you can tell people really resonate with it. It's one of those songs that always kind of elicits a response.
Yeah. Could I kind of piggyback off of that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I save this one. I never like start a set with it, but if you've got to do like 2 hours or something like that, as I start to kind of wind up the first set, I'll throw that one in there. And almost always there's someone in the room that will come over or say something afterwards specifically about that song.
Yes, exactly.
Like that one. It means something to them, right? Because
Right.
It's about change. I mean, to me, like it's a song that you listen to when like stuff happens.
Exactly. And that's the beautiful thing about it. It's a powerful song. And it's a beautiful, the melody. To me it's like really just kind of a light, airy, and that affected my arrangement as well. At the time, I think that I saw that, I was contemplating possibly getting like an alto stick or a stick guitar or something like that, and then I was thinking about it. It's like really all the notes on those instruments are available on the grand stick. It's more a mental shift that you have to make. So I chose to make an arrangement that like didn't use like the low bass notes, that kind of hung up in the upper registers more, and tried to emulate, besides your version, the version I went to was Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham performing it live, and he's playing fingerstyle, acoustic guitar, and it's capoed up, and I'm pretty sure we both do it in the same key. It's B flat. And so I kind of worked it up on that. And so why don't we jump into that? So the basic progression.
So what we'll do is let's start with the introduction. So because the introduction is basically what the left hand is going to be doing for some time. There's some variations on the chorus, and I think that it's safe to say the song really has two parts, and it's almost like a jazz standard. It's pretty simple in that regard. It's not like a jazz standard. I'm thinking of something different. But let's start with that first progression just in the left hand and how you've kind of arranged that.
Yeah, it's funny. I kind of think of this almost like a folk song, the way there's definitely an A and a B part to it, and so get my chord behind me here. So the introduction, we get that. so just going on the left hand, what I'm doing is, this is a E flat major triad on the top strings. Going down, it drops down a half step on the bass note to a voicing that I think of as a B flat chord. It's got the B flat in the middle. It's got the D on the bottom, B flat in the middle, and the F on the top. So it's like the B flat you would play on the melody side, except the different inversion. And then down to a C minor triad. And then back to that B chord. So it's basically just cycling back and forth between those chords. They walk down and then back up.
It knocked it up for me.
What's that?
You're doing it an octave up from me.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay.
And so if you're playing a 10-string stick, these voicings are going to be kind of tricky. So you can do it down here. I would do E flat. I would do D minor, C minor.
Gotcha.
And the reason, so like I said, here I think of this chord as a B flat chord with a D in the bass, like a slash chord. But if I were playing it down here, to probably not muddy it up as much, I would play a D minor 7th chord.
Ah, okay.
Because technically, in the key of B flat, you would have a well, no, that doesn't really apply there. That would work.
But let's do your voicing. I like your voicing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so what's happening? The thing the distinctive thing that you know people instantly know what song it is when you're doing this. So that is a E flat major triad right there. The shape, the E flat's on the top note, and what I'm doing is I'm kind of treating it like a finger picking kind of approach to it, where I'm doing I'm hitting the root on this side. Then I go down half step, and I'm playing now. I'm playing F, B flat, F. Does that make sense?
F, B flat.
So it's kind of an awkward fingering, but to me, it's that it does give the impression of like what he's doing on guitar more.
Yeah.
And then I usually throw in these other notes as well, so the whole thing comes out.
And that's the finger sticking. You hear that?
Yeah.
Finger sticking. It's when you're emulating that open chord. Can I play you how I've interpreted that real quick?
Yeah, please.
So it's a little, like you said, it's a little kind of deeper in the bass, but so what I'm doing is I'm just putting the fifth root in the top, and the left hand is you doing all the motion. So it's sorry.
Ah.
So kind of a different, not quite as true to the original as yours, but it's just kind of how I'm interpreting it, right? It's like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I love that. It's, you know, I love to hear everybody's take on things.
Yeah.
And you kind of do it, yeah, according to, you know, where you're at, who you are, all that affects it. So
Let's get that melody. You want to hear? You want to knock that? Put the melody on top of it, or
sure.
do you want to come back to something, David? Am I moving too fast here?
Nope, that's fine. I was just going to say, so one of the things, like, again, my approach to this was trying to emulate like fingerstyle guitar, and actually this is actually, I was, somebody asked me about this a little while ago, and I was thinking about it. It's a big part of like how I approach playing stick is, when I first got the stick, I was just absolutely shocked because I was so used to playing like fingerstyle guitar with open strings, lots of altered tunings, and to realize like there's no open strings.
Yeah.
And that anything, but you know, the workaround for that is that you just have to hold things down, hold them down as long as you possibly can. And that's really kind of my approach on this, is to, like, when I'm doing the melody, when I'm doing anything, is to keep those fingers planted, to let those strings ring out as long as they possibly can.
Yeah, and to kind of to add to that, you can play a bass part and not be a bassist. So it's just, it's almost like a second guitar. It's like a hybrid of a bassist and a second guitarist, because you have that range that's providing that open string in the left hand. The left hand, to me, is really what is so magical about the Chapman stick. And that's what provides that kind of wild card where you can use your pinky and these upper voices to make it sound like, you know, someone's plucking against open strings.
Yes.
So, anyways, listen, we could be fascinated by this instrument all day long, right? But let's show me how to play it, man.
Okay. So like I said, so the verse is basically the same progression, the E flat, what I call a B with a D in the bass, and a C minor, and on here I'm going. And notice how I held that note. And now and then it goes into the next part.
Right. So talk about that verse for a sec. Because it's a long verse and it's almost for free. And what I like about this section is you can kind of build it up a little. It gives you that kind of luxury. And then so long as that left hand is doing its job, I mean, I hear Emmett use that term motor, and that's like, this is exactly like, this is a perfect exercise for that.
Yes. Yeah. Because I mean, sometimes I experiment with different voicings on those chords as well, because that opening part that is basically an E flat going to an F. So like this E flat here, if I voice it this way, I've got the E flat on the top string. When I play that B with the D in the bass, I got the F on the top. When I go down to a C minor, I've got the E flat again back. So it mimics that. It does the E flat to the F.
That's great for practice. I mean, now it's kind of like you're kind of entertaining yourself. You know, it's like, it's so easy. I just play it all day long. You know, like. That's a good way to be.
Yeah, but you know, it is simpler for me to play this voicing, and I kind of like that note up there too. But the melody, so like a lot of the songs, this is a tune I didn't have a lead sheet for. I didn't have, you know, I basically learned it by ear, and so my interpretation of the melody is I think, you know, it could be better. It could be, there's more subtle stuff going on in there that would be nice to incorporate. But, you know, maybe one day I'll sit down and do that. And lately, when I'm learning tunes, I am spending more time trying to do melodies a little more accurately. But this was, you know, get it done.
Right. Well, you know, better done than perfect.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Got 2 hours to fill, right? I've got my first 4-hour gig in December, so I'm like, yes, I'm going to repeat stuff, but like, you know, 80%. Like if somebody recognizes the tune, right? Like, I mean, essentially you've done your job, but then you want to kind of build on that, like continual improvement. And what I find is hearing other people play it, or actually hearing the song on the radio and going, oh, I do like that part. I remember that part. And I can't do it because it's too hard to reach, or I can't something, but it's so good to listen to the original from time to time, or even like a live version and see how they kind of play with it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
So, you never believe it, but we're at time. So what I'm wondering is do we want to do it? Do we want to come back for the chorus and do it and do that next week?
We could do that, sure.
Or do we want to plug on, or do we want to keep going?
I'm fine either way. I'll let you make the call.
Well, why don't we do this? Why don't we? We're gonna try to keep it to 15 minutes, so we're gonna do Landslide in 2 parts.
Okay.
Come back next week because we like talking about the stick so much, right? We like it's hard not to get like into the fascination, right?
Right.
But I guess that's all part of it. So David, I want to thank you for giving me 15 minutes of your morning here.
My pleasure. And I should mention that this morning I uploaded a version of this song to my YouTube page, so it's all there. You can. Yeah. Perfect.
Well, then we can see that, and actually, that's what I'm gonna go. That's where I'm gonna go right now because I'm excited to kind of hear the song again and hear the way that you're playing it. I don't know that I can take it up a whole octave like you can in that left hand, but I am looking forward to kind of reacquainting myself with the song.
Yeah, and it works either way. I mean, there was a point when I was jumping back and forth. Like I'd play the first verse way up high, and then I'd throw the bass in, and that's another thing I love to do is jump around like that. But yeah,
and then like right, that's a way to keep yourself amused, right, for those 4-hour gigs.
I'm easily amused. So right.
Cool. Well, listen, David, thanks again so much for spending time with us. And like I said, I think it'll be kind of fun that we do it in 2 parts, and we'll talk more about this one next week when we see you on Friday.
Good deal. All right.
Thanks, man. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Free Hands Friday.
Yes, sir. Bye now.